Hey everybody, with a warm welcome to the Top 10 Most Awesome channel with a new episode. Honestly, aren't we all a bit fed up scampering via the crowds, suffering to discover a rather first rare spot below the solar? Let's face it, we are eventually looking for backpacking tales from some far-off lands and discover the secret gemstones that few know about. We bet you haven't heard of the maximum of the names we are going to throw at you. Even globetrotters who don't mind taking the road less traveled would possibly rack their brains for these ones. We are talking about the world's least visited countries. While on one side of the spectrum, you have got your France, Italy, and Mexico. On the alternative, give up stand nations that boast of idyllic settings and are yet neglected through travelers. Number 10. Sao Tome and Principe, around 8,000 visitors per year. A small island off the west coast of Africa, and another one of those you've never ever heard of that country group. First colonized by Portugal way back in the 15th century, prior to which they were both uninhabited, it's been independent since 1975 and democratic since 1991. It has a population of just 170,000 and they speak Portuguese. Cacao keeps the country going, but they hope tourism is their next big ticket. Fingers crossed. So if you are planning to visit the country, then here are some points to consider. It's an island paradise. The two islands, Sao Tome being one, Principe being the other, offer a host of tourist attractions, but the infrastructure means you have to earn the experiences. Obo National Park at Sao Tome with the endemic birds and epic waterfalls, and then the beaches of Principe are two huge attractions. Fort Sao Sebastiano is the Portuguese fort, home to the museum there too. Sounds alluring? Then here is a way to get to these islands. Visa on arrival, amazing. The easiest way to get here is via Lisbon, Portugal. You can also connect in Ghana and Cape Verde. Number 9. Libya, around 6,000 visitors per year. Well, Libya is complicated. Historically, it's been part of the Roman Empire. The Greeks, the Persians, the Turks, and of course, the Arabs. Then in the 20th century, the Italians took it. And in the second half of the 20th century, Gaddafi took over as a dictator until 2011. Since he fell, it's bordered on being a failed state, with ISIS and various factions clamoring for control. Wondering what you can see in Libya? A lot. Due to its varied history, it's one of the most important countries in the region. From the world-famous epic Roman ruins of Neptis Menga to Gat, the home of prehistoric rock paintings, Libya has it all. And of course, the huge Sahara in the south. The problem is, it's so difficult to access at the moment. How to get there? Getting a visa is almost impossible, but flights from Tunisia, Istanbul, and Egypt are the easiest ways to fly in. Number 8. Marshall Islands, around 6,000 visitors per year. You might have possibly heard its name. It's a country comprising of a group of small islands in the Pacific Islands. Kind of the middle of nowhere, lost somewhere between Australia and Hawaii. The population is under 60,000, and although it's historically been under US administration, it's been independent since 1986. They still use the USD. Transport between islands is limited, so most likely you'll find yourself in the capital, Majuro. In terms of things to see and do in the Marshall Islands, there's not so much. A couple of guest houses can organize snorkeling and scuba trips. It's island life without the tourism. For Majuro, the beaches are the main attraction. Aniko Island is a small atoll accessible from the main island too, which is good. And then you have Majuro Peace Park 2, a memorial to World War II. Almost everyone can come without prior organization of a visa, which is great. You have to fly via Fiji. Number 7. South Sudan, 5,500 visitors per year. South Sudan is officially the newest country in the world, independent of Sudan proper since 2011. Perhaps the most dangerous country you can visit. Be careful, it's almost lawless. The spots are very less to explore there. Juba, the capital, is limited, but they have great national parks in Boma and Nimule. That being said, it's probably better to stick to other African countries if safaris are your thing. And if you are one of the astounding explorers, note, e-visas are now possible. You can fly from Egypt, Ethiopia, Kenya, Dubai, or Uganda. Number 6, Kiribati, around 4,000 visitors per year. First of all, don't be the one who pronounces the name wrong the whole time you're there. It's pronounced Kiribati. Population 100,000, and the capital city, Tarawa, is home to the international airport. It's the first country on the side of the date line, meaning it sees New Year's first every year. Pretty cool. Despite being an island paradise, poverty is widespread, and it struggles to have any kind of domestic market. It was uninhabited until the Europeans discovered it. It's the paradise that the Marshall Islands isn't. The islands are spectacular, but it's flat, really flat, and there's nothing to do but walk or swim, so be prepared to entertain yourself. How to reach the country. Expensive flights for sure, but you can easily connect with Naughty Fiji and also to Brisbane, Australia. Getting curious about the number 1? If you are more curious about the number 1 than just like, comment, and subscribe to our channel right now. You can see more amazing videos here. Just turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of them. Number 5, Tuvalu, 2,000 visitors per year. An extremely tiny country in the South Pacific, the entire country's landmass is only twice the size of the LA airport with only 11,000 residents. Tuvalu is a remote island in the Pacific Ocean that is a member of the Commonwealth, which means Queen Elizabeth is head of state. This has been confirmed twice by referendum. Most visitors will arrive at Funafuti Airport and be given a 30-day tourist stamp on arrival. At under 1,000 tourists per year, so don't expect much in the way of tourist infrastructure. Do not expect things to always go your way. Instead, roll with the punches and enjoy island life. Tuvaluians have their own language, but pretty much everyone speaks English, and it is the lingua franca of business. But hey, you're in their country, so learn a few words in Tuvaluian. La lofa is hello, and that's a good start. The only way to travel in style is Funafuti is by scooter, which can be rented for as little as $10 a day. This is how everyone gets around and is a fabulous way to see the real Tuvalu. When you land in Funafuti, you will notice that it's not like any other airport, and that is because the runway is also an open road. If you hear air raid sirens, that means there's a flight coming and it's time to get off said road. When you visit the 3rd least visited country in the world, don't expect too many creature comforts. There's no malls here and few souvenirs. Although you can buy t-shirts and handicrafts from the airport when flights are due to leave. Tuvaluians truly are friendly people. Their cuisine might not be world famous, but food is simple, flavorsome, and you are more than likely to get invited to some kind of party or home-cooked meal when you travel here. Number 4, Equatorial Guinea, less than 1,000 visitors per year. One of the largest oil-producing nations on the planet and the most corrupt countries in the world. Yes, this small island nation off Africa's west coast, Equatorial Guinea, is a former Spanish colony. It should be rich due to their natural resources, but they have a cruel despot in charge, so he and his awful son drive Bentleys and fly jets around the world while the country continues to suffer inconceivable poverty. Frustratingly, it's beautiful. Alachi waterfalls are breathtaking. Anoban Island is paradise. Corisco Island even more so, but oh so tricky to get around. You need to organize a tour, trust me. If you manage a secure visa, which is almost impossible, then you can fly from Lagos, London, or Paris. If you are from China or US though, it's visa free. Remember, corruption. Number 3, Yemen, less than 500 visitors per year. A country embroiled in a civil war adjacent to Saudi Arabia. Friendly and warm host, but a country decimated by more powerful countries and their respective agendas. Historically, it was under Ethiopian, then Persian rule, and then under the Ottomans, and finally the British, until independence in 1990. Things you can see in Yemen. The civil war, a proxy war between Iran and Saudi, has ruined the country. It's a humanitarian crisis and the world has turned its back. Yemen used to be an amazing tourist destination, and now it's almost inaccessible. Previously, Sana was a gem of a destination. The old city in Sana is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one we all dream of visiting. And then, of course, the real gem of Yemen, Socotra, which thankfully is still safe and accessible. It's tough, visas and transport. For Socotra via Cairo or Abu Dhabi, but flights can only be booked in cash, so you need to know people. For the mainland, the visas are super tough and the trip is dangerous. Number 2, Nauru, less than 200 visitors per year. Many of us have far-flung destinations like Japan and Australia on our bucket list. But what about Nauru or Kiribati? They may be among the least visited countries in the world, but they deserve a second look. Gunnar Garfors, a 43-year-old world traveler, recommends the following travel buried treasure for your next trip. The tiny nation of Nauru is the smallest island country in the world. In 2017, just 130 visitors ventured to explore this island that has declined till date, making it the least visited country in the world. Nauru sits northeast of Australia and is a 4-hour direct flight from Brisbane. There are just 2 hotels on the island, and a rental car is recommended to get around. Visit Command Ridge, the highest point on the island, which has a rusty Japanese outpost from World War II, or head to Eni Bear Bay for white sandy beaches, coral reefs, and fish curry. A tourist visa is required, but must be attained by mail before you travel to Nauru. And here comes the number 1. What do you think, guys? What visitor stats would the number 1 least visited country have? Any guesses? Do tell us in the comments. Number 1, Somalia, less than 100 visitors per year. Often seen as the most dangerous country in the world to visit, the country is pretty much a failed state, and the country is now essentially divided into 3 nations: Somaliland, Puntland, and Somalia proper. Somaliland in the north is a self-declared country, and while many people visit Somaliland and count it as visiting Somalia, it's a little disingenuous considering Somaliland has its own currency, government, and flag, etc. Including Somaliland, visiting Somaliland isn't visiting Somalia, so we don't count it. If we consider truly visiting Somalia, then there are less than 100 visitors to Somalia every year, more like 20 or so. Some of the most beautiful beaches in the world are in the Horn of Africa, but your trip will start and be centered around Mogadishu. Here you can visit local markets, the scene of Black Hawk Down, and a few of the other cultural sites. It's all very on edge and subject to change. Your armed guards will keep you right, and you'll sleep in a safe compound overnight, and it's all very, very expensive. Visas are actually easy, and the flights are generally via Istanbul. So are you ready to pack your bags and visit one of these to make the count grow? Also, if you love such videos, then check out our playlist of top 10 around the world, then subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and thanks for watching.